Hi everyone, Bernard here. Welcome to the Citizen channel as we look forward to a trip to the Emirates. That's a bit mean, isn't it? The Emirates, yeah, let's call it the Emirates. It's, every ground's empty now, isn't it? I mean, no one can do any bragging at the moment, but I'm sure it won't take long when we get back in there from to start. Yeah, trip to the Emirates Stadium on the 21st of February, 4:30 p.m. kickoff on Sunday. It's on Sky Sports, I think, this game, as we look forward to that game. We're going to have our usual features today. A look at our opponents and a sort of quick look at Mr. Arteta. Yeah, he's changed a little bit since Christmas. We'll have a quick look at him and what he's doing and what he's perhaps doing differently and why it might give Pep not cause for concern, but at least Pep has to sort of change things just a wee bit. It will have the history boys, of course, some previous meetings between us and Arsenal and our history. The odds on the game we might just for fun bets. Although I had a fantastic. If you watch these previews, I had a great time with the odds last time. But more on that later. Please, if you're new to the channel, please push that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 800 by the end of March. I've gone through 700 now. I'd love to get 1,000. If you've not subscribed yet, please do so. Tell your City friends, City following friends. I'm trying to get 1,000 before the end of the football season by the end of May. It's going to be quite tight based on the sort of new numbers I get at the moment, but it's doable. So I'm always positive. Aim for the sun and might hit the moon, or something like that. Aim for the stars and you might hit the moon. I don't know, it's something like that. Anyway, so if you can support me, that's great. And for everybody who has supported me, fantastic. My appreciation for that. And please check the playlist. There's lots of City stuff on there. City history, City past, City quizzes, lots of City magazine, vlogs, loads of stuff. But there's also some film and TV stuff. And there's a Sean Connery quiz, just to let you know. And if you leave a comment or what score you get before the 10th of March, you've got a chance to win a little prize as well. It's only 15 questions. It'll take you about 10 or 15 minutes. Just a bit of fun on Sean Connery if you like that. So that's on my film and TV channel. Please get along there and do that. And there's loads of film and TV stuff, reviews on dramas and films, etc. So have a look at that if it's of interest. If it's no interest, don't worry about it. There's loads of football stuff, as you can see if you look at the playlist. And please, there's a couple of links on screen there for Facebook and Twitter. I do check every 3 or 4 days, so if you follow or friend me on there, I do reciprocate and follow and friend everyone back. And the comments, fantastic. Thank you everyone who's commented. I'm getting more and more comments. It's lovely to hear your memories and your views on different things. Please let me know your views on the Arsenal game coming up with your 11s, your sort of starting 11, etc, etc. Please do that. That's fantastic. But if you're in a rush and you haven't got time to do that, a thumbs up's great. I mean, we're getting between 20 and 30 now for these City vlogs, so please, thumbs up's always appreciated. Nice to get views, but it's nice to get a thumbs up, isn't it? Right, let's get on with this. Let's have a quick look at Arsenal and what we can do. Right, the history boys. Yeah, the last league meeting, of course, at the Emirates, just not counting the cup meetings, etc. But the last league meeting was December the 15th, 2019. A very comfortable 3-0 win, wasn't it? I mean, the Guardian newspaper summed up that 90 minutes by saying Manchester City beat Arsenal for the 6th match in a row and they barely needed to break sweat. Kevin De Bruyne, playing as a number 10, scored 2 majestic goals with Raheem Sterling getting the other. It could have been a lot worse for an Arsenal team who looked excruciatingly low on confidence and purpose. He certainly did. Overall against Arsenal, now away at the various stadiums, obviously Highbury for most of these games. We've played them 92 times now, and the win rate's improving a little bit. We've had a few good seasons, haven't we? We've won 17 now, so it's pretty abysmal before the last few years. Drawn 22 and lost 53, so we're still well down. Scored 89 goals and had 164 scored against us. So there you go. Our biggest win was 4-0 back in November the 2nd, 1912, 1913. And probably my great-granddad might have been at that one, but I doubt it very much. Yeah, they were Woolwich Arsenal then. They weren't Arsenal. They were called Woolwich Arsenal. And they played in Woolwich. They didn't play at Highbury. They moved to Highbury the season after, I think. This was 1912-13. A crowd of just 8,000. Well, where were you when you were... We sing, don't we? But there you go. City goals are from a guy called Wynne. Taylor got a couple and Jones got the other one. So that's our biggest win. It'd be nice to beat that, wouldn't it? Record, I won't do record breakers, but it'd be nice to beat that. It's been a long time, hasn't it? 1912-13. Our biggest win, of course, is sort of certainly within my living memory and a lot of you out there's memory was biggest loss was a 5-0 loss in 2000-2001 season. There'll be a program on the screen and that program there. Really not a great day. 28th of October 2000 wasn't fantastic. The Arsenal team that day was Lukic, Luzny, Keown, Adams, Grimandi, Vieira, Parler, Henry, Perez, Bergkamp, Cole, and subs were Dixon, Lundberg, Wiltord, Canoe and Taylor. City team that day, Nicky Weaver, who did have a good game actually, though got beat 5-0. Vikings, Breyer, Tiato, Howe, Haaland, Ritchie, Whitley, Haaland, there you go. Perhaps we'll have another one day. Whitley, Dickoff, Golter, Charvet. Remember Charvet? Probably not. I don't much. Subs, Horlock, Bishop, Wright, Dunn Kennedy. Yeah, the BBC reported on the game. City boss Joe Rome points to the crucial dismissal of defender Danny Tiato for a foul on Thierry Henry. Yeah, he'd already been booked, and the idiot fouled Henry just before half-time. We had no chance, really, did we? This was punished by Ashley Cole's opener from a free kick. City were woefully out of their depth. Yeah, we were absolutely torn apart. As Arsenal turned on, we couldn't do it with 11 men, never mind 10. As Arsenal turned on the style in the second half, with Highbury revelling in a performance that oozed class from every position. Arsenal crowned the victory with 4 second-half strikes, including 2 late magnificent goals from Henry to put the gloss on an exhibition performance. Oh, they're playing 10 men, don't go over the top. Bergkamp and Wiltord also scored for Arsenal that day. Not great, was it? Not happy days, not happy bunnies at that one. Yeah, my oldest programme that I've got for the Arsenal is that one there. Obviously, it was September 59, so I was literally 2 months old when that happened, so I wasn't there. No, I didn't go to that one. A 3-1 loss with McAdams getting the City goal. Yeah, I mean, he had a great. That was his last season at City. McAdams. He actually scored 21 goals in 30 league appearances. His best ever. He was there for a few seasons, about 6 or 7 seasons at City. So that was his best goal effort. His last season at City. That says it all, really, doesn't it? The team that day, for instance, 1959, will be a couple of names you'll know on this one: Troutman, McTavish, Brannigan, Levers, Kerr, Barlow, Colbridge, Hanna, Hayes, Cheetham and McAdams, of course. He had to be in the team. He scored. Yeah, so there you go. So that's the history. How are they doing up to now? Well, interesting season, isn't it? It's been very up and down, very inconsistent is sort of a word you can use, and obviously I'm not understating it. I mean, they sit 10th at the moment, so more or less halfway. They do have the 8th best home records, so doesn't mean much. These a lot of teams' homes and away records are very similar this season. I wonder why. It's obviously, we may scoff at the crowd thing, but obviously it is having an effect, isn't it? Of feeling comfortable with your own supporters behind you. I don't buy into the fact that certain clubs, because our fans are so wonderful, we'll get, because most grounds are just a waste of time unless it's a big game anyway, let's be honest about it. But it is proving that this season, isn't it, with most teams having a similar away record to home record. But apart from United, they're fantastic away from home, so I have no idea what their excuse is. They obviously get intimidated away from home when they play normal seasons, but hey, there you go. Yeah, they've won 5, drawn 3 and lost 4. Scored 16. So what's that? 8, 12. That's 16 in 12 games. They're not scoring many goals, and they've let in 13. Yeah, Arteta, he named an unchanged side from the Leeds game. A good win over Leeds. Quite a good game, 4-2. It wasn't end-to-end stuff, but it was a good game. They've just played Benfica in Rome. I think they played them in Rome, a neutral place on Thursday in that European Cup. I can't remember what it's called now. The European Losers Cup, I think it's called, isn't it? So yeah, he's a 1-1 draw. So he named quite a strong team for that. Tierney made his comeback as a substitute, and he's likely to return to the starting 11. And Cedric Soares, Hector Bellerin, probably going to battle it out for the right back position. Lacazette didn't even get to the bench for that European game, so whether he'll suddenly appear, I'm not too sure what's going on there. And Rob Holding's another one. He started the season well, but he sort of fell out of favour a little bit. But I do sort of expect him to be in defence, but we just don't know. Thomas Partey didn't travel with Arsenal to Rome in midweek, and obviously I think injury remains a doubt for that one. sort of more or less practically full-strength team against Benfica. They've got a 1-1 draw, despite perhaps thinking they should have perhaps won that. They missed 2 or 3 good chances. It's good result on paper, obviously, but I think they're going to be a little bit down with that, and Arteta may be left to rue whether he did the right thing or not in picking so many regulars to play in that game with very little time to rest. But does that mean he's give up on this one? Does that mean he's not going to really worry too much about this? I don't think that's true. No, I don't think he can particularly make this team much stronger. But obviously, if he changes gives 2 or 3 players a rest because they've lost a day, obviously on City, and they've done some travelling as well. So it would be very, very interesting. I mean, this is a new Arteta. This, certainly since Christmas, there's been a slight change in his philosophy in the way he plays the game. It was pretty good to see it in action against Leeds, but Leeds are one of those teams that allow you to perhaps do certain things. But they did show some tactics that could harm us, and certainly similar to what Everton did when they looked and got men forward and broke through the middle 2 or 3 times. They did worry City. It's a new style. Where they funnel everything through Simon, Rowe, Saka and Pepe, isn't it? And they sort of have a go at City through the middle there. And they've also got players who can dribble. Now, obviously, we close teams down. But obviously, it can probably at times work and break through our pressing style. Obviously, sometimes it might not work. But obviously that ability to dribble through as well as occasionally use a long ball. They're not frightened of using a long ball to the pace up front. Is a little bit of a feather to Arsenal's bow, and certainly different to when we last played them. But the big but is defensively still have problems, obviously, and the way they play obviously opens them up for City to sort of pounce on them, doesn't it? I mean, as far as City concerned, as far as I know, the only doubt is Aki now. We've got everyone available. Obviously, certain players like KDB, who came on for 10 minutes, and Aguero, who didn't come on. I mean, I'm doubting they'll start the game, to be honest with you. I think they'll use them in reserve, but there's no reason why Gundogan won't be back playing, and he'll be our key midfielder. I mean, as I said, Arsenal's defence, the trouble starts with David Luiz, doesn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, if Rob Holding's playing as well, I mean, both are potentially vulnerable to what City can do. And obviously, David Luiz isn't happy sort of chasing round. He likes to have a player to mark. And obviously, if we play our sort of roving midfield, all in a sort of moving around different places, he may get a bit frustrated. And I think obviously the Arsenal defence is still remains, even though Arteta's tried to change things, this new offensive strategy. I think the defence is still a bit not very watertight, is it? Let's be kind, or it's not very good, is it? Of course, and so we'll exploit any weaknesses. So perhaps Arteta will play perhaps a watered down version of what he did against Leeds. To be honest with you. Will he overthink it like his mentor used to sometimes? Who knows? I mean, obviously he could. Obviously, the Leeds game blueprint was interesting in the way they played there. But as I say, if he starts obviously allowing for City's strengths, which he knows, obviously he could well overthink it, which like his mentor was accused of doing many times, wasn't he, for the big games. As I say, it's very interesting. I think it'd be a great game for the neutral, actually. And I still think it'll be a real test for City. I think they'll win it. I think there'll be a 2-goal margin. But I do expect us to tire a bit in the second half. It depends if we can get that 1 or 2 goals in the first half and get a lead, because obviously they'll tire more if they're chasing the game, and obviously if City are in the lead. But I do expect City by the second half to be in full control of this. But you never say never. And say I was quite interested to say Arteta has changed a little bit, so it'd be interesting for Pep as well. Will Pep adapt slightly as well to allow for that? I'm sure he will, but let's hope Pep doesn't overthink it, which he shouldn't do. And we want to go 18 on the bounce, don't we? Now we want to get that number 18, and let's face it, the Emirates has been very kind to us, apart perhaps from an odd get. I mean, it's Wembley, wasn't it? We got beat recently. The Emirates has been quite kind to us even recently, so. And there's no reason why we shouldn't carry on. My 11, let me know what you think anyway of this 11 and your 11 for this game. I'm going to leave KDB and Aguero on the bench. I'm going to say, no, they're not quite ready to start the game yet. You've got KDB and Aguero to come on. But we know with Aguero, he's not going to be all firing anyway. I mean, it'd be nice to have a sort of little cup game or something to sort of get embedded in, because it's going to take him 3, 4, 5, 6 games to get back up to scratch, and we've got some tough games coming up, so it's not the greatest time for Aguero to come back, to be honest with you. But I will keep him on the bench. As I say, I'm going to stick Gundogan in. So my team, my 11, left back was an interesting one. I'm going to go Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, Stones, and I'm going to put Laporte in. I'm thinking Zinchenko might be in there, but I think Laporte gives us that option on if he plays left as well, and I think the balance looks okay when he does that. I'm not too sure it works so much with Zinchenko unless we're a bit more positive going forward. I think with Arsenal, I think we just have to be a little bit wary. I think we have to leave 2 or 3 there at the back just to cover and allow for the pace, etc. We won't have Walker to get back with the pace. I don't think Walker will be playing, so that'll be interesting. So Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, Stones and Laporte, Rodri, Gundogan, Bernardo, Foden, Sterling, and I'm going to go Jesus. I'm going to stick Jesus in. Again, it's probably central, but a bit more roving, allowing Foden and Sterling and Gundogan to get around and about in the middle as well. So anyway, let me know what you think. I say, if I get 7 of those right, I'll be quite happy, because I'm not 100% sure with that lot, and obviously we're not too sure on the fitness of certain players, are we? Match officials, referees, Jonathan Moss, so he'll be sat in a chair in the middle of the pitch watching what's going on. Assistants is Lionel's Marc, Perry, Dan Robotham. Fourth official, Andy Madley or Madeley. VAR, Peter Banks. Peter Bonks again. I think he loves VAR. Did he invent VAR or something? He always seems to be there. Let's hope we have no judo tackles again in the box, otherwise he probably won't spot them, will he? Assistant VAR, Timothy Wood. Yeah, score prediction. I'm going to be boring again. I mean, it worked last time. I'm going to go for a 3-1. I think Arsenal can score one, to be honest with you, and I wouldn't be surprised if they don't score many, but I don't think they'll be scoring 2, fingers crossed, but I think they could score 1. But I think, I think a minimum of 2 for City and a maximum of 4, so anywhere between 2-1 and 4-1, but I'll go for 3-1 as my score prediction. Of course, that'll lead us on to the odds. Please only ever gamble what you can afford, and if the fun stop, and never condone gambling. This is just pennies for me. As I say, when I say a point, it could be 50p, a point could be a quid, it could be £1 if I feel flushed after last week. Well, yeah, I might do. Yeah, because last week for the Everton game, 15 points profit. There you go, happy days. I had the correct score at 3-1. I did have 2-0 as a saver, so I lost a point on that, but I had 3-1 at 11-1, so there's the bulk of the profit. I had 3 cards to be shown or more, and there was exactly 3 cards shown. And I had Bernardo as anytime goal scorer, so a good week last week. So that's the 3rd winning week on the trot. But it won't last. So don't go mad. But not a bad week last week. I hope you did okay if you had a little flutter last week. Premier League now, you can get the best price you can get on City to win the Premier League is 1-33 on. Most places are 1-60 now. I did lay, as I told you, quite early-ish, a few weeks ago. I did lay when City started to come good and the price started to drop dramatically. I did lay City a little bit, but I didn't put too much money on it. But as I said, I'm quite happy to lose that as long as we win that title. Which, let's face it, I think we could have probably afford to lose 4 or 5 games and still win the title this season. The way it's going, perhaps even more. So I think 1-33 on and 1-66 on are quite ordinary, normal prices. I would have thought. I can't blame the bookies for that. Top 6. If you fancy Arsenal, say that they're 10th at the moment, aren't they, in the league? Yeah, 10th. You can get 5-1 on Arsenal to finish in the top 6. Is it doable? It is doable, but obviously he's got to carry on with his system, Arteta, and get his players used to it. I think it'd be interesting to see how they go. But 5-1's not a bad price to get in the top 6, but it will be a struggle. Managers to go, well, Arteta's fairly safe. He's only 40-1. Pep's 100-1, of course, one of the least likely of the next managers to go from the Premiership. So and Arteta's quite comfortable at 40-1 because he's done okay. I mean, obviously the fans, some fans are happy, some are not, but that's how it is, isn't it? The match odds: City just 1-2 2 on, so that's not a bad price if you think City will win. It's sort of almost getting to where you can put a bit of money on that, but I won't. But yeah, 1 to 2 on, 10 to 3 the draw, and 11 to 2 for an Arsenal win. Both teams to score yes is 4 to 5 on. So I very nearly did that. I didn't, but very nearly. And no is 10 to 11 on, so not a lot of difference there either. Correct score, yeah. So I'm going to have a couple on there. I'm going to do 3-0 as well. So I'm going to do 3-0, which was of course the last time we played him in the league at the Emirates. 12 to 1. So I'll have a point on that. But 3-1's also 12 to 1. So I'm going to have a point on that as well. So I've got 3-0 and a 3-1. So point on each. If you fancy 1-0, 1-0 and 2-0, that's 7 to 1. If you fancy a 3-2, like it was many years ago when the last time we won at Highbury, if you remember, a 3-2 win, that's 28 to 1. A 4-1 win is 25 to 1, but just a 2-1 win, which is feasible. As I said, I'm hoping anywhere between a 2 and 4-1 win is 8 to 1. I'm not going to bother giving you draws or Arsenal odds because we're City fans and we're not going to get beat by Arsenal anyway. Half time, full time, City is 11 to 8. Yeah, but I've gone for draw and City. I've gone that Arsenal probably hold us the first half. It might be 1-1 like it was against Everton, but we'll come strong in the second half. I'm hoping we'll be about 3 or 4-0 up by half time, but hey, I'm edging my bets. So a draw in City is 10 to 3, so I've had a point on that. A draw and a draw, if you fancied a boring draw, 11 to 2, not a total disaster. A point will do at this stage, but you know, we should be beating Arsenal, shouldn't we? Anytime goal scorers, there's not a lot of value. The only real value starts with perhaps with Foden and Mahrez at 2 to 1, so that's not a bad price. And Bernardo said it was only 4 to 1 against Everton. He's 9 to 2 if you fancy Bernardo anytime goal scorer. So, but apart from your Sterlings and your Aguero, your players aren't great prices. Your Gundogan are all less than 2 to 1, so they're not great prices. Corners, yeah, if you fancied under, it's interesting with Arsenal. I think the last 4 games against Arsenal we've had like hardly any corners, and then we've had 2 games with hardly any corners. We've had 2 games with loads of corners, so it's very hard to tell. If you fancied under 10.5, I think, which is likely given the possession football Arsenal have tried to play a little bit, and obviously what possession football we play, that's 8 to 11. So I think that's and obviously the bookies are saying that, aren't they, giving it as an 8 to 11. So I would go with that if I was. I'm not. And if you wanted over 10.5, which obviously a lively game, that's even. So yeah, I would be more inclined to go for under. Under over goals. Yeah, over 2.5 is pretty safe. I would say 8 to 11s are pretty nailed on there. I think there's going to be 3 goals, but I'll go for the over 3.5. I'll take a chance. I had a good week last week. I'll take a chance and say I'm not overly confident this week with these predictions, but these little just for fun bets, etc. But yeah, I'm going to go over 3.5 goals. So it's got to be 3-1 or it's got to be 4 goals in the game. It's 2 to 1, so yeah, I'll just risk a little point on that. So there you go, that's my little. So if you're going to have a flutter, just let me know what you're doing there, and I'll keep my fingers crossed for you if you whatever happens there. And before we go, yeah, so we're not really here show. I think I probably, thanks to City not putting it right on the website, I think I got it wrong for the Everton game. I don't know what. As I said, they had a bit of a mix-up, so I wasn't 100% sure. They had stuff from the Everton game from back in December and obviously mixed up with stuff from this game. So, yeah, my apologies, but obviously it's a City website, it's useless. But I've just been on there now to check. And, yeah, if you like the We're Not Really Here show, I think Paul Dickoff, which makes sense, doesn't it, for Arsenal connections, and Sean Goulter are the guests on there for the Matchday show. So, again, is it Kel Spellman or Sel Spellman? I don't know how you say that. It's hosted by him. So, if you like that show, they're the guys who are on it, Mr. Dickoff and Mr. Goulter. Legends. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. Of course, I'll be back with a review of the game on Monday. It'll be Monday early afternoon, I would have thought, of a review of another victory. Fingers crossed. And please check out my recent City past and present stuff. That was the week that was out there now, just for the Spurs and Everton games. My little quiz, a little bit of fun on that. I enjoyed putting that together. I like doing the little spot the balls and stuff like that. So that's out there. And there will be a moment in time feature or a game in time or whatever it is on my City Pass stuff. Obviously with the Borussia Mönchengladbach game coming up, I've had a look at the 2 games back in 1979. So that'll be out as you're watching this. It'll be out on the weekend on the weekend of the Arsenal game, so it'll either be out on the Saturday or the Sunday, one of those 2 days. So we'll look back at that, which I think took place on the 21st of February 1979. So yeah, well, same date, different team, but not too far out for our upcoming game, is it? But obviously I'll be back with a preview of that next week, early next week, so keep your eyes out for that. And please check those playlists. Please check over on that film and do that Sean Connery quiz, please. A bit of fun on there if you fancy. If you do, you don't have to be a total. I've just had a guy who got literally 25 out of 26 points. He just got one wrong, but he's a big keen Sean Connery fan, so you don't have to be. It's just a bit of fun. Just have a laugh, some pitch questions, a bit of fun, and as I say, there's a little prize, and you don't have to win any as a prize. You don't have to get the highest score. Just leave a comment or your score, and you'll be entered into a little Sean Connery poster prize. A little poster's up for grabs. So please, he's open to people outside of the UK as well, not just the UK. Anyway, so thanks for joining me for this. Please have a look at that. Whatever you're going to do this day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families, more importantly. Let's all look after each other. So we meet again here on the Citizen channel or the Film and TV channel, wherever it is. All I ever ask of you is please stay safe, Blues. Thanks for watching. Come on, City. Bye for now.